Hello everyone, and welcome to the sixth episode of Coherent Coder. In this episode, we are going to look at the remaining operators which we weren't able to look at in the previous video. We are going to cover the remaining three operators and we are going to see how you can write C code using them. Okay, so let's roll that intro. Look at bitwise operators. These are operators that are performed on actual bits of data. What do I mean by bits of data? You may or may not know this, but a computer only understands binary language. That means it can only understand 0 or 1. Okay. So whenever we have to perform operations, for example, let's say that we want the computer to display a value of 12. So internally, what will happen is this value of 12 will be changed to binary number. So the number system that we use in our real world is called as decimal system here. So in decimal system, we have values from 0 to 9, right? The rest of the numbers is just combinations of this. But in general, we have numbers from 0 to 9. Okay. But in decimal system, we only have number from 0 to 1. Okay. So whenever we have to perform some operation, the compiler in the background converts all the data to binary number system and it passes to the machine. And then the machine executes that binary value. Okay. So bitwise operators are operators which are performed on decimal numbers only. So when you give it two numbers, let's say that you are giving 10 and 2 to bitwise operator. What it will do is it will internally convert those numbers to decimal numbers and then it will perform operation on those decimal numbers only. Okay. You do not need to know more than this because we are not even going to cover this. These operators are not generally used in programming. These are only used in special cases and we are not going to cover it right now. Okay. So just need to know that there is an operator called bitwise operators and this is the kind of operations that it performs. Okay. So let's move on and look at assignment operators. Assignment operators are operators which allow you to assign values to different variables. Okay. So under assignment operators, we have multiple operators, but in general, the equal to symbol is what the actual assignment operator is. So what equal to symbol does is, if you say, let's say that you have two variables, A and B, and you say A equal to B, then what it will do is, it will take the value of the variable on the right side. For example, you are writing A equal to B. So on the right side, you have B. So it will first find out what the variable B holds. What is the value of the variable B? It will fetch that value and then it will assign that value to the variable on the left, that is A. So the value of 10, for example, B's value is 10. So that value of 10 will be assigned to A. Okay. And that is how assignment operator works. So in assignment operators, apart from the equal to, we have some operators like plus equal to, minus equal to, multiplication equal to, and division equal to. So these operators are called as shorthand operators because these are actually converted to a long format by the compiler in the background that we do not know of. Okay. For example, if you look at the example for plus equal to, you will see that when we write C plus equal to A, the compiler actually converts it into C equal to C plus A. So basically what is happening is, if you say C plus equal to A, the compiler understands that you are trying to add the value of C to the value of A and then assign the output of that to the variable C. Okay. So this might be a little confusing, but you will get a lot of clarity when we go to the programming part. Okay. So you just need to know that this exists. And when we go to the programming part, you will understand this much more clearly as to what this does. So let's move on. At last, we have miscellaneous operators. So these are operators which perform different kind of operations. So basically, operators which do not fall under any of the previous categories are put under miscellaneous operators. Okay. So in miscellaneous operator, we have size of, we have ampersand, we have star, and we have question mark and colon. So among this, we are only going to discuss the last operator. Okay. But I'm not going to explain it here. You will understand this much better when you see the program that I have written for this. Okay. That will give you much more clarity than me telling what this is. Okay. So let's move on. So now let's close this presentation and move to dev C++ where we are going to write the code. So I'm going to create a new source file. Now I'm going to include the stdio.h header file as we did in previous videos. Now I'm going to declare main function. Okay. And now before we proceed, let's save this. So I'm going to save this. So while saving, remember that save as type should be C source file. And I'm going to save it as operators. So now we have looked at arithmetic and relational operators. So now let's look at assignment operators. Okay. So assignment operators are simple. So basically, if I write C equal to A, this is one kind of assignment operator. Basically, what is happening here is we are assigning the value of A to the variable C. Okay, so now if we printf, we do printf and say C value is and say percentile D. Now printing the value of C on the screen. So let's compile and run the code. You can see that C value is 10 and 10 is the value of A. So this is how assignment operator works. But this is a simple assignment operator. Now let's look at a complicated version of it. So I'm going to say C plus equal to A. And I'm going to say printf C value is percentile D. We forgot to put slash n here. I'm going to put it and I'm going to put slash n here and I'm going to print the value of C. Okay. So now let's understand what is going to happen here before we look at the output. So here we are assigning the value of A to C. That means at this point, the value of A will be 10. Okay. And next we are doing C plus equal to A. So C plus equal to A actually stands for C equal to C plus A. So this is a shorthand way of writing this statement. Both will return the same value, but this is shorter. And people use this kind of format in programming a lot. Okay. So basically, what is going to happen is right now at this point in time, C value is 10. Okay. And A value is also 10. So what is going to happen is we are going to add the value of C and the value of A and assign it to C again. So basically what is going to happen is 10 plus 10 equal to 20. So we should get 20 as output when we compile and run the code. So let's compile it and run it. Now you see that the value is 20, which is what we are expecting. Okay. So in a similar way, we can also do C star equal to A, which stands for C equal to C in into A. So basically what is going to happen is the value of C at this point will be 20 because here in the line above, we have changed the value of C to 20. Okay. And value of A is unchanged because we are not assigning any new value to A. So the value of A is 10. So what should happen is it should do 20 into 10 and we should get the output of 200. Okay, so let's see if we are going to get that output. So I'm going to copy this from here and paste it here. And I'm going to compile and run the code. You can see that we are getting the exact value, what we are expecting to get. C value is 200 and we expected 200. So what we are doing is working properly. Okay. So now let's look at a special operator from miscellaneous operators. If you are wondering why we haven't talked about bitwise operator, it's because I'm not going to cover it because it's complicated and you are anyways not going to be using it in any of your code unless you are working on some specific scenarios, in which case you will get some onboard training while you do your job. But for the most part, remember that bitwise operators are not used in general purpose codes. Okay. So let's move on and look at miscellaneous operators. So in miscellaneous operator, I'm going to cover only one because I believe that that is one operator which is very important. So under miscellaneous operator, I'm going to cover an operator which is also called as ternary operator. Okay. So I am going to say A equal to B, put a question mark here, and then I'm going to say, I'm going to print saying A is equal to B, and then I'm going to put a colon here, and I'm going to write printf statement and say A is not equal to B. Okay. So basically, what I am doing here is, so in this operator, we have three parts. Okay. The first part is the condition. Okay. So first we have a condition. Then after question mark, we have code that should be executed when the condition is true. And then after colon, we have code that should be executed when the condition is false. Okay. So basically, what this ternary operator does is it takes a condition first and then it checks if the condition is true or not. So in this case, if we look at A and B, A's value is 10 and B's value is 20. So A is not equal to B, right? So this condition is false. So since this condition is false, what it will do is it will skip whatever code is there after the question mark till the colon. Okay, so this code is skipped and it goes on to the next part of the code and it executes this one. This is a ternary operator. Don't worry if you have trouble understanding it because this is just a brief explanation about what this operator is. But in the next video, we are going to be looking at control statements in which I'm going to go through each and every control statement and I will explain this ternary operator there. And then you will understand this properly. Okay, just remember that this operator takes a condition as input first, and then it also takes two other things as input, which is the code to be executed when the condition is true and the code to be executed when the condition is false. Okay, and depending on what the output of the condition is, it will execute either the code after the colon or the code after the question mark. So either one of them will be executed, but both of them will never be executed at the same time. Remember this, only one of these two things will be executed in this ternary operator. I hope you were able to understand this. So do not worry if you are not understanding this ternary operator because we are going to cover this later and you will understand it better when we do it then. Okay. So let's get back to the presentation. Thank you everyone for watching my video. If you like this, then leave a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos like this, then please subscribe and share it with your friends. If you have any doubts about what I discussed in this video, then please post it in the comments and I will get to you. Thank you and happy coding.